Chapter 1. You are listening at famvetv.info. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, F***ck, am I dreaming? Or am I've transmigrated. Wang Ran sat up in bed, covered in cold sweat. Just now, he was surrounded by zombies. They swarmed him, pounced on him with red eyes, and started to feast on his flesh. The intense pain caused Wang Ran to lose consciousness. When he woke up, he was in his own home. My house, it caved in during the second week of the apocalypse. Wang Ran immediately grabbed the phone beside him and looked at it. 1 year ago, I really transmigrated. Wang Ran heaved a sigh of relief. Although he could not understand how it happened, he was very lucky to have survived, judging from the time. Today was the first day of the large-scale outbreak of the zombie virus. It was too late for him to leave. That would be suicide. If he went out now, not only would he have to face demented zombies, but he would also have to deal with irrational humans. I'll wall up for a week. Whatever the case was, he always had several boxes of instant noodles with different flavors at home. At the very least, he would not starve to death. It was a pity that there was only one box of Coke left, and he may not sleep as soundly with the knowledge of what was happening outside. Let's reinforce the door first. Wang Ran pushed the wardrobe and TV cabinet against the front door. It was a 20-story apartment building that he should be relatively safe. Of course, this would only apply to first week. Wang Ran clearly remembered that a week later, a few idiots were dancing on the rooftop, playing music, attracting a large number of zombies. The zombies swarmed into the apartment like a tide, trapping the survivors inside. Fortunately, Wang Ran had gone out to collect supplies at that time, so he was spared. After securing the door, Wang Ran immediately turned on his computer and went on a downloading spree. The internet and power supply were cut off about a week after the virus outbreak. Now, it was best to live in the moment. This was the most fun he was going to have in a long while. One should know that a hand-cranked generator and an iPad fully loaded with welfare resources could be exchanged for a month's worth of food during the apocalypse. After preparing everything, Wang Ran sat in front of the computer and played games. It had to be said that perhaps due to the virus outbreak, League of Legends lobbies would take half a day to queue. Starting up a game was already difficult, but interruptions and levers were even more common. My cousin was bitten by his father. I gotta go. Please understand. Ezreal explained. Everyone expressed their understanding. At that moment, it was not easy to play a game online. Wang Ran also had a deep respect for the other party's father. Even though he had become a zombie, he didn't forget to stop his son from playing games. Such a good parent. Just like that, the sky gradually darkened. By nightfall, there were no more human players. Playing with the AI was boring. Wang Ran could only wind down and start to formulate a survival plan. As he had experienced it once. Wang Ran had some foresight. The first week of the virus outbreak was the most chaotic week. A week later, the world's population had dropped by 90%. The reduction in population actually made it easier for the remaining survivors. After all, there was a limited amount of resources available. The fewer people there were, the easier it was to find food. Moreover, the zombies in the early stage of the virus outbreak were not very strong. Any able-bodied person, no matter how non-athletic, could kill a zombie with a stick. Therefore, he could wait for a week before heading out in search for a new safe house. Wang Ran already had a very clear goal: the supermarket 2 blocks away. Although the supermarket was emptied out a few days after the outbreak of the virus, as a person from the future, Wang Ran knew all too well that there were still a lot of supplies in the supermarket's warehouse. Even 100 people would be able to survive on those supplies for months. In the future, Wang Ran could choose to continue being a lone wolf or to join a survivor base. Not long after the virus broke out, the zombies started to mutate. A large number of powerful zombies continued to appear. Reinforced doors could be easily broken through by them. Even bladed weapons would find trouble breaking the skin of these zombies. Within a short period of time, a large number of survivors were slaughtered. Fortunately, awakened ones had also begun to appear among the human race. These awakened ones possessed powers and abilities that humans did not. With the help of the awakened, humans stood against the onslaught. The continuous emergence and gathering of awakened also led to the emergence of human survival camps. A large-scale survival base could even have dozens of awakened. As for Wang Ran, before he transmigrated, he was a full-fledged, regular mortal. As a lone wolf, he had the bare minimum amount of luck to scrape through for a year. In the end, he still ended up being eaten. This time, I'll put my hopes in some base with awakens. Juan Ran muttered while eating instant noodles. In this post-apocalyptic world, mortals did not have a place in it. As the sky continued to darken, the entire city also darkened. The high-rise buildings were no longer as brightly lit as before. If 2 or 3 windows were lit up, it was already a luxury. The streetlights downstairs were still on, however. There were zombies covered in blood under the streetlights, so no one was in the mood to go for a walk. Wang Ran was leaning against the window, drinking some soda while enjoying the temporary peace. Suddenly, he noticed that the lights on the 10th floor of the opposite building were also on. The 2 buildings were apartments in the same community and they were very close to each other. Wang Ran could vaguely see a girl in the house opposite with the lights on. As an astrologer, it was reasonable for him to keep a telescope at home. Wang Ran picked up his binoculars and looked across the street. As expected, it was a girl, and it was a long-legged girl with fair skin, a beautiful face, and a very healthy figure. She was also barely dressed. Sigh, what a pity. We're separated by a building, so I don't have the chance to get to know her. Wang Ran sighed. The long-legged beauty opposite him seemed to have seen Wang Ran as well, and she waved at Wang Ran with all her might. Immediately after, the long-legged beauty went to the side and took a piece of A4 paper, then wrote something on it. With the help of his binoculars, Wang Ran could easily see the words on it, "Save me." 2 huge words that could express the other party's feelings at the moment. Wang Ran looked at the dense crowd of zombies downstairs and spread his hands. In this kind of environment, you want me to go over and save you? What a joke. They did not know each other. Did she think he was a simp? It was not worth it. At that moment, the beautiful woman wrote another word, starving. From the looks of it, she was a takeaway eater. There was probably no food at home. Wang Ran thought about it for a while. He had quite a lot of instant noodles. Since he could not take them all with him, he might as well show some kindness. However, the 2 buildings were dozens of meters apart. How to get it over to her was a big problem. Listen to the full novel at famvetv.info, direct link in the description.